Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Tory and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition. You remember the U.S. general who said President Ibrahim Traore is not using the goal of his country to protect and defend the interests of the citizen, but for his own private protection. I beg to ask the question, how much does the U.S. spend to protect the President of the United States? From cybersecurity, dictating any possible threat, infrared radiation to detect possible target, area mapping, reconnaissance survey in order to fish out any threat within the environment to his entourage. Well, this information remains classified and is not known to the public, but I ask the question, so the president of Burkina Faso should not protect himself so that, with your aim, he will be killed. Well, I did watch the Senate briefing where this U.S. general was talking to the special committee on this defense hearing. And when you listen to his interview, it was mainly full of propaganda and defending America. It's like, whatever America is doing in Africa is correct, and whatever China and Russia are doing in Africa is very bad. If you follow the over 1 hour 45-minute briefing, he always speaks of they are trying to replicate what we are doing, but they do not have the capacity. I'm not here to judge whether what America is doing on the continent of Africa is good or bad, but I am coming here to point out the hypocrisy. This is how Africans were deceived and Gaddafi was killed. This is how we were manipulated. Thomas Sankara was killed. Today, we have rejected the view, the preposterous fabrication of this U.S. general in order to sow a seed of, disunity so that Ibrahim Traore will be killed. We will not accept this narrative. So please, we are going to put on the video so that you watch. Recently, he had visited Ivory Coast, where Alassane Ouattara is being used as their stooge to sow disunity in Africa. Let's not forget, it was Alassane Ouattara who shattered the dream of West African state when they were going to come out with their currency. Him and his partner in France made sure that this dream will not come to light. And today, he is using his territory so that terrorists can be trained to cause chaos in Burkina Faso, so that the Western imperialists will use their agents to destabilize Burkina Faso. But today, Africa has risen to say no to imperialism, no to Western manipulation, and no to neocolonialism. Let's have a look.
Thank you very much, Senator Blumenthal. General Langley, let me ask a few more questions here as we hopefully recess. Africa is a mineral-rich, resource-rich continent. Is that correct?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, and you can leave the microphone on. Which are there success stories for the citizens of African countries when these larger, more prosperous nations or companies from more prosperous areas come in and exploit these minerals? What I'm asking is, does it ever redound to the benefit of the citizens there in Africa?
Chairman, there's very few cases. When the Chinese Communist Party is outed on them pulling out raw materials, not benefiting the populations of the host country, they've been trying to come up with ways how they can stay there and process only at the protests of the people of these African countries that host these mineral resources.
Okay. So is there any exception? Can you point to any success story where the people of one country or one or two countries have actually benefited substantially?
Not on China's behalf.
Okay.
Not on China's behalf. Just what happened in Zambia when they had the spillage into the river that services 5 million people. There's just these mining concessions. It just doesn't turn out real well for the African countries.
And do the countries that are receiving entreaties from the Belt and Road Initiative, are they more and more mindful of that now and therefore reluctant?
Yes, and that's where we need to be able to do information operations to illuminate some of the irregularities and some of the malign type activities of the Chinese in African countries.
Information and narratives are power then, aren't they?
Absolutely. And as I said a few minutes ago, and I always will tout this, that we own the facts. We own the facts. We know exactly what the Chinese Communist Party is doing, and to some degree what the Russian Federation is doing in their propaganda operations. But we don't own the narrative. Both of them own the narrative.
We sure don't. One more thing for you, General Langley. The approach that we have had with USAID and the other things like the President's Initiative on AIDS, how does our U.S. approach compare and contrast to the approach of Russia in Africa and also Communist China in Africa?
Oh, Chairman, we've always had the lead. So what you're seeing in those two competitors or challengers, they're following in our wake. They see what works as far as our influence and deepening partnerships through those soft powers, whether it be health diplomacy or whether it be in development type programs. So they're following in our wake, trying to replicate what we do best. And I think the African countries know this, and so this is where, as we start to look at going forward, as State Department starts to reset these programs, looking at what worked and what didn't work, and doubling down on what does work. I think we have enough capital built up in these countries for them to ensure their stabilization and also prosperity. The other two competitors are just trying to replicate what we do best.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Tory and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP and sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
Most people don't know pitted me.
Okay, well, you can't imagine how frustrating it seems to me that this mineral-rich continent has not been able to move to a utilization of the resources to benefit the people there. After all this time, it's a puzzle that we haven't unwound. Let me see if I can move to General Cavoli, and then I hope we can leave. You